Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate this opportunity to be with you. I too agree that this campaign had gotten very negative. I've really pushed to be positive in this and to talk issues, and will continue to do so. I do feel like, well, I would like to talk about the issues. I do have to respond to a couple of things. The first negative mailer that anybody sent out was the one he referred to, which said, you know, he voted Democrat when this was Obama's year. I never voted in a Democratic presidential primary. I want that fact to be made known. And it says at the bottom, you just can't trust Chuck Hufstetler. The first negative attack radio ad that went out was also by this campaign. The first negative website put up, that is still up, was by this side. Have some of the responses you know, probably been appropriate by certain parties? I don't think so. The attack ad he talked about, I don't listen to the radio a lot. I hadn't even heard it. I still haven't heard it. But I had somebody call me up and talk about it. I called Randy Quick, and I said, Randy, I really wish you could get this ad down immediately. I don't agree with this being run. Randy said, I can't do that. He said, you didn't buy this ad, you didn't pay for it. I thought you were aware of it. I said, no, I wasn't aware of it. Political action committees sometimes agitate on both sides, I think. I think by law I'm not even supposed to have any contact with a political action committee, but I did take it upon myself to find them, contact them, and ask them to please remove these radio ads. I hope they're down. I haven't heard them, but I certainly hope they're down. This campaign should be about issues, not about whether somebody's taxes went up 29%. They may have. I added on a deck, a porch. I built a pond. I put on a greenhouse. I built a soccer field for my little girl. I'm sure my assessment went way up, and I never contested it. But the fact is, the millage rate did go down 6 times during this year. The fund balance increased, and we brought in a lot of industry. We worked well, as Gary had mentioned when we came on board. The city and the county weren't talking to each other. There had been a lot of hostilities between the two over the years. We worked well together. We worked well with the chamber, and we brought industry into this community. Pirelli Tires, that when I lived out in California, was just down the road. They faced some of the same issues I did with unions out there, and they came over and made their North American headquarters in Rome, Georgia. They built the first robotics plant here. Suzuki built the first ATVs anywhere in North America here. We brought in industry. That's what I want to do down at the state. I want to do the same thing, to get into the budget, find waste, and to work to bring industry to this community, into this area. I do pledge to do that as your state senator, and now I'll take questions. Yes, sir.
What's your standing on school vouchers?
I had put in one thing recently in a comment that I do support them. I have a daughter, and I do want to preface this to say my child is in public education. She's an 8th grader at Rome Middle. I thoroughly support public education. John Barge, Dr. John Barge, our state superintendent, knows this, and that's why he's endorsed me in this race. I also do support tax credits, and part of the reasoning for that too is that I think competition is good, and also when you do this, the local funding for that public school remains the same, so that actually you have more dollars per student, per public school student in the system. Studies have shown an increase of $94 million for public school systems by this. So I think that everyone can benefit by more choice. I'm certainly for it. We're very blessed in this community to have great schools. We've got great private schools, religious schools, We've got great public schools. We've got the second largest charter system in the state of Georgia. It was the first till I believe DeKalb County went that way in the Floyd County school system. Not all areas of the state have those school systems. They don't have a Rome High that's ranked 31st out of several hundred schools in Georgia by U.S. News and World Report, I believe was the group that did it. We have areas that need help in their school systems. They're not as well blessed as this community is, and I think more competition can help in those areas. Yes, sir.
I want to follow up on that school voucher question. I think I read somewhere that the Rome City Schools spend approximately $10,000 per child educating them per year. How would you feel about a voucher that allowed that money to leave the public school system and follow the child to a private school outside the public system?
I think that we need to support choice. The one thing we need to do right now, though, I'm not sure I would go that far, because our public schools have been devastated, as everything in the budget. They're the majority of our state budget. 54% for just the K through 12 system. More than when you add in the college and university budgets, there's more than that. And they've been devastated. And I don't think we need to do anything that would take away from our public schools right now. I do think that if we looked at the state match going toward it, we could help out both systems by having a greater amount of money for our public schools per student, and an opportunity for our private school students to get help as well.
When you being an anesthesiologist,
Actually, I'm not.
Or doing anesthesia, I mean, with
And I'm not an atheist either. I've been called both.
Are you going to be on call a lot? I mean, how will that affect basically, you being able to do both? I mean, I know there's more of people that in town that do what you do, but I don't know if y'all have a rotating call. I mean, how is your job going to be able to affect what you do?
I think that's a fair question. One of the things I did was go to my employer ahead of time and say, this is what I'm looking at. I went both to the head of the anesthesia department, and actually the anesthesia department is not, I'm not actually a Redmond employee. This is a group that performs anesthesia for Redmond. But I went both to this department and to John Quinlivan, the CEO at Redmond, and asked him the same question and said, would you, and I talked to some people, such as Barry Loudermilk, about his schedule, and said, let's look at this, and I need to know what kind of schedule you run. Can I do this? Well, first of all, they agreed to give me an unpaid leave for the entire time of the general session. It actually will save them money, because that session is in January and February, mostly when nobody wants to take vacation. They're begging people to take vacation. We're actually a little bit heavily staffed. And they said they would do that. I think if that general session was going on 3 months in July, I think it could be a problem. There is a reapportionment that's done every 10 years. That just happened. It's actually a financial loss for me to do that. The state senate, I believe it's about $17,000 pay for this time. I'm not going to tell you what I make as an anesthetist, but it doesn't quite even out there. We do have a very flexible schedule. We make out a schedule. You're on this day, you're off this day, you're here 24 hours. And after it's posted, we all get together and chop it up and say, I'll swap you this for this and this for this. We work with each other over there. There's about 20 of us, and we work with each other to make this schedule work out. And is it the same as somebody that doesn't have a job? No, it takes some work. If I didn't believe it was doable, and if my employer didn't believe it was doable, I wouldn't be in this race. Yes, sir. Oh, we need the clout question?
Same question.
Yeah.
But just so you got your facts straight, this year was the earliest we've gotten out in my 6 years, and it was the end of March.
Mhm.
We've gone as late as the end of April.
Mhm.
You do have to have that flexibility.
Right,
so
absolutely,
work that out
absolutely.
a little bit there. But,
I won't enjoy losing those paychecks, I can tell you, but I'm willing to do that.
well, it's the time, because I do know your patience. I mean, I haven't had many operations, but I know I'm important.
I've had
You
0.
are. So, just to go back to the clout thing, I've not gotten your mail, but people have brought it to me, so I have seen it. And have certainly tried to study the candidates as well, and on the different websites where surveys are answered, and some, we all don't answer all those questions, so y'all don't get upset if you see one that somebody didn't answer, it's okay. But the word clout does appear, as though we don't have it there, and that does, I can feel it right there just a little bit when that comes up, because I feel that Roman Floyd County has great clout. I can't speak to what it is in the Senate. Casey does come here often. He's such a big proponent of our charter system, and he's in quite frequently and has done such a good job with that. But our House just made a fly around throughout the state to talk about the upcoming session, and the very first stop on their agenda, the House leadership, was here in Rome. So I think clout does play into that with the House. I just wanted to ask you what you mean when you say we don't have clout, and what you feel you can do to help us achieve it.
I don't think I've ever stated that we don't have clout, but I do think we can improve our clout. And if it, Katie has a very important position in the House. She has moved her way up, and we certainly have clout on the House side. The redistricting gives an opportunity for this area, I think, to have more clout. We, for the first time in a while, have all of Floyd County in one Senate district. We have half of Bartow County, we have part of Gordon County, a tiny bit of Chattooga County. I think that Floyd County will benefit. While yes, we've got representation on the House side, I think Floyd County will benefit from this seat on the Senate side. And I think Bartow County will also benefit because you're going to have Barry Loudermilk and this other candidate, which I hope is me, sharing Bartow County. We'll have 2 people that can work on this entire quarter in here and bring more clout. If there's anything that would say that there was 0 clout, that any implied to that, then I certainly don't want that to be the impression at all. And Katie has worked her way up on the House side. I think that there are 2 houses, and it takes both of them to get something passed. And I look forward to working with her on a lot of the issues, economic development issues that need to be done in this area. Yes, sir.
I probably shouldn't stand up, Chuck. But as far as education, I may have been in the classroom about as long as anybody in here. If anybody wants to challenge me, hold up their hand. World War II veterans. Went with Floyd Jr. for a while. Our Merchant High School. Pepper. And I'll give you a list. You can ask some students, former ones coming that's written a book. They sent me, but I'll let you ask some of those.
She's saying 30 seconds, so we better hurry, Mr. Jones.
Now, the one thing that's wrong with public education is one thing. Jack Nick said it a long time ago. Discipline in the classroom, you restore discipline, you return learning.
All right. Yes, sir.
Chuck,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'd like to ask
I said there were 30 seconds. Anyway, in my closing statement, I do want to appreciate everyone being here. I want to appreciate all the support that's been given to myself and my family during this time. The people I've met in other counties, it's been great. I do look forward to working with this area, with the Christian Coomers and the Barry Loudermilks from Bartow County, the John Meadows and the mayor over there from Gordon County, Jimmy Palmer, who eat out at my restaurant regularly. They go in the back room with their wives and talk secrets, I guess. I don't know, but he, of course, is a very influential member. He's known David a long time. He's known me a long time. I think either one of us can work with him very well. And with the people that have worked hard on my behalf, that have supported me through a lot of tough times. And I look forward to the election on Tuesday, and there may be a runoff after this, and this will go on for a few more weeks if that's the case. But I will continue to try to be positive during this campaign, and we'll certainly try to not have any more groups come on my behalf. Thanks a lot.